Hello and welcome to Rock Paper Shotgun. You stumbled onto episode 2 of a new series called Can We Build It? We're a PC gaming channel, but I'm a Sims 4 fanatic, so we've kind of gone like this with them and made this. In our first episode, I made the twins' room from What Remains of Edith Finch, which you can watch right now by clicking the card at the top of the screen, but maybe wait until this video is finished. But this week, it's a slight change of pace where I'll be building something from Grand Theft Auto 5, namely Trevor's trailer. It's going to take a lot of custom content and a lot of Sims knowledge to build this, but let's see how I get on. Is there much crossover between Sims fans and GTA fans? I mean, both games feature some lovely houses, but what happens inside those houses is very different. I don't think we'll ever see Bob Pancakes beat up a yoga instructor. Anyway, I picked Trevor's trailer because it's small enough to do an entire build and because Michael's house is, just a house. No challenge in that. Just building Trevor's kitchen or bedroom wouldn't have cut it, especially as my favourite bit in this build is his tiny, tiny bathroom. If you've not met him, Trevor Phillips is one of the 3 main protagonists from GTA 5, and his living arrangement kinda reflects his personality. It's grubby, it's falling apart, and if you hang around it too long, you'll probably get a disease. In the game, he's an absolute psychopath, and while there are Sims mods to encourage that behaviour, you can see my list of them in the link in the top right, I thought it would be better to build without endless visits from the Grim Reaper. The challenge here is the mess. It's hard to make houses in The Sims look messy. Sure, there's a cheat to make things dirty, but a messy bed? Impossible. Unless you lot know something I don't. So I decided to make the whole trailer, apart from that weird mysterious end of the trailer with a door that leads to nowhere, as I couldn't map inside of it and also didn't have enough space on this lot. And I think I managed to make everything pretty true to size. I'll show you a brief look at the final lot now before getting into the nitty gritty and showing you the behind the scenes. I will warn you now, there is a lot of custom content, debug and live edit objects used in this. Custom content links will be down in the description, and to access debug and live edit objects you need to enter some commands into the console. If you want to download this lot from the Sims 4 gallery, hashtag in the description, it's also best to place the lot after you've used the move objects cheat. If you need any help with these, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to help you. I'm really proud of this entire build and I hope you'll enjoy watching the process unfold. I knew exactly where this lot needed to be built, Strangerville. What better place to build a trailer than a trailer park? It's also sandy, just like where Trevor lives in Sandy Shores. It's quite sandy. So obviously I had to get rid of old trusty Slip 42 to make room for Trevor's trailer. It's actually quite upsetting to see this one go, as it's probably one of the best default houses we've ever gotten from the Sims team. No shade, just facts. I started off by building the shell of the building to figure out the rough sizing of it all, including the porch and whereabouts the bathroom should be and how big it should be. The toilet was, probably, oddly, one of my favourite things to create. Trevor has a concealed toilet, so no visible cistern, and before you all start yawning and clicking off, that's the end of that plumber jargon. But the ones with units don't exist in The Sims, and this was early on in the build where I was convinced I wasn't going to use too much CC, so I decided to build my own. And to make it, I used a Sims 4 concealed toilet, brought it forward a bit, and used a chest of drawers turned round as the unit, and I am super chuffed with how it turned out. The rest of the bathroom was relatively easy: magazines, a mirror, a custom content cigarette tray, all the other bits you'd expect in a bathroom, and then chose the wallpaper. It's CC, I'm sorry, I failed you all. But the good thing is, Trevor has basically the same wallpaper throughout his entire home. The kitchen's up next, and while it's a pretty basic kitchen, it was hard to get the vibe right. The CC I downloaded to make it look shabby didn't look quite right and was a little glitchy in places, so I decided to just put up with cool kitchen stuff surfaces in the end. You'll see me play around with the kitchen quite a bit in this, but what I settled with I'm super happy with. The flooring of this section of the trailer was easy to find, not quite true to game but not custom content, so I'm settling. I cordoned the floor off with a tiny fence to make it look like the edging Trevor has, and tried to find the right shade of concrete for the rest of his house. Back to the bathroom. The clutter in this bathroom was so much fun to do. I downloaded a Slob custom content pack that included all of these wonderful crushed cans, and also downloaded some custom content that gave me toilet rolls to use on the floor, which you can find in the Parenthood bathroom clutter link. I also love using those stains from the vampire pack, which I downloaded an override for, again listed in the comments. I've never really had a reason to use these, as I tend to make pretty nice looking builds, but for Trevor's lot they were an absolute necessity. Then it was time to start grossifying the kitchen. I used some debug items here for things like dirty plates, the pot on the stove, the closed pizza box is debugged, the open one is from the Slob pack, and I also used some really nice chopping boards and wine clutter from the kitchen set. A set I highlighted in my first CC packs video, the card for which is popping up on screen right now. Again, made the whole area look gross and lived in, adding holes, scratches and stains left, right and centre. Next is onto the living area, or the sofa and fridge area. Again, the same wallpaper that we saw in the bathroom, a lovely little flag, sconce and a huge dining table that no one seems to use. Making the sofa look used and lived in inverted commas, was super fun too. It's definitely encouraged me to want to start building houses that are a little less show home and a little more Trevor Phillips. Oh, and then I found the perfect plunger to sit under the bathroom sink. It's glorious. As I build, as with most things, I always want to do things pretty methodically, but then I end up doing things way less methodically. For instance, I thought I was done with the bathroom or the kitchen, but then I spot something in the debug menu that would be perfect elsewhere and pop back over, so apologies for the flitting around. But I love the use of the classified papers next to Trevor's fridge, almost like he's forgotten to pay loads of bills and has them stacking up. Navigating in this trailer would be an actual nightmare. I do like the idea of super high cupboards everywhere around you. Think of the storage. I mean, I wouldn't be able to reach anything in any of them, as RPS law states I am 5 inches tall. And then I downloaded this super cute custom content first aid kit. I love it. It's not green like it is in game, but it will do just fine, thanks. Placing this neon sign required the old move the wall trick. Get the neon sign on the floor, move it up, place the object, put the wall back to stop it clipping to the wall and not actually to the cabinets and resting on top of the fridge, which is how it looks in game. One part of the trailer I did have a lot of problems with was placing the windows. I know it seems so minor, but the fact that they have to be aligned to the grid made it very hard to make it true to the game. They're not where I'd like them to be, but they're in the best places they can be. I made the back wall of Trevor's trailer look absolutely disgusting, gave him a TV unit made up from pieces from Peacemaker's Hampton built-in set, downloaded a custom content DVD player and started to bring this corner to life. I toyed with using the Baby Yoda statue, but instead landed on using the statue you get from reaching the level 9 of the astronaut career while in the Space Ranger branch. This fan is also unlocked at level 7 of the detective career. Both things I had access to thanks to using the Ignore Gameplay Entitlements cheat, again something I can help with in the comments if you need it. This side of the build was really starting to take shape. To combat my window woes, I decided to use 3 different windows, 2 2 square, 1 1 square, and then covered the gaps in the middle with curtains to make it look like one long window, from the inside at least. Hey, it works. I then started to clutter the dining table, including using a custom content radio and some other bits and bobs that I've used elsewhere in the build. I then went in and put all the important cereal boxes into the kitchen area. It's good to know Trevor gets his daily intake of fibre, assuming they're not empty. Or gone off. Next up is what I like to call the trash corner. Here I place pizza boxes, cracks, boxes, trash bags and more. It was really satisfying making such a gross area of his trailer. And then I moved closer to the bedroom, stacking up boxes and crates and general bits of mess before deciding what to do with the weird wardrobe things he has on entry to his bedroom. I ultimately decided to use an archway into his bedroom, custom content again will be listed down below, and soon realised that there was going to be a slight error in my calculations. Despite being convinced the bathroom was only 1x3, it looked like the bedroom didn't have a jutting alcove. Easily fixed though, boxed it in, forgot about it. Job's a good un. I decided to use kitchen units for what I am sure is actually wardrobes, and I placed a radiator here before realising I think it's actually a fold-away table, so I replaced the radiator later on with some blank canvases that looked the part a little better than the radiator. I had to do the old delete the wall trick once more in order to place this curtain and then the calendar, and then again went on a mad grime rampage. That's what I'm calling it these days. The final part of the inside build was Trevor's bedroom, which was, in part, the easiest bit to put together. Not much can be weird in a bedroom. Oh, apart from that skull. The only downside is I couldn't make the wardrobe broken, couldn't smash the TV, nor could I make the bed unmade. Sims are way too good at keeping their rooms tidy. But I'm very happy with how this came out and even upscaled a beer bottle to make it look more like a bottle of whiskey. I probably could have found some custom content for it, but I didn't want to make an already CC heavy build even more CC heavy. Trevor's bedroom is pretty much exactly how it is in game, right down to the weird bucket by his drawers. I don't want to know what it's for, but the toilet is right next door. I managed to make his bed look slightly messier with beers, cans, an ashtray and magazines strewn all over it, and I managed to find a landscape painting that looked almost identical. I even managed to find a baseball bat, again available through cheats. Then finally it was on to the most fun part, the outside. I played around with a few roof ideas before settling on one slanted roof and a tiny half wall to make the trailer look less flat roofed. I then used some lovely custom content chain link fencing for the outskirts, made sure the foundations were latticed, and then made the exterior look proper tinny. It looks a little more like a container, but I still think it works. And then I went on to landscape with lots of trash, plants, and of course that giant satellite. And loads of bits and pieces of dead grass. The bent over fence was ideal, and we have island living debug to thank for that. I shift the entire lot around a lot while doing the outside landscaping, as I found it quite difficult to know how things should be placed. But there's something about making the outside of a build look proper that really finishes the whole thing off. I also added Ron's, his housemates, barrels around the back, a nice old comfy armchair, and a washing machine in the front garden too. The porch of Trevor's trailer is just as gross as the inside of his trailer, with a sofa, another broken TV, a lovely table, a potting table for most people, but Trevor doesn't strike me as the type. Lots of trash, cans, bottles, the lot. An absolute state. The final touch was obviously the tyres, and that headboard is there because I needed to put it in the bedroom, but I was really happy with how this build ended up looking. I finished the whole place off by going into live mode and making everything that possibly could be dirty the dirtiest it can be. You'll be able to see more detailed close-ups of the rooms in these screenshots, but I really hope you enjoyed watching it all come together. It's so satisfying to watch it all back. My favourite thing about Sims builds is adding the clutter and watching a room come to life. It was such an oddly fun thing to do, to make a complete tip of a build. As I said, most of the things I usually build are so pretty and pristine. This really threw me out of my comfort zone and gave me a lot of new ideas for future builds. I hope you'll agree that I nailed a lot of the tiny details and that overall the build is actually really good. I wouldn't go so far as to call it nice because it's gross, but hey, a good fixer-upper of a home for those of you who want to renovate it. Feel free to download it from the Sims 4 gallery if you wish. Thanks for watching episode 2 of Can We Build It? If you like what you saw today, why not like the video and subscribe to Rock Paper Shotgun so you don't miss any future episodes or any other Sims 4 videos that we put up. If you have any suggestions of what rooms you'd like to see me build in The Sims 4, then do let me know in the comments below and we'll go through them and we'll pick our favourites. All custom content is listed below the cut in the description, so do check that out and download some, even if you don't want to download the lot from the gallery. Thanks so much for watching and hopefully see you again soon.